Wow, Miss Marquardt, this is a big clock.
It's a really big clock. I found the biggest one I could find to fit underneath the screen.
That's exciting.
It's almost bigger than me,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool. I wonder if we're learning about telling time today.
I wonder if I can see it from over here.
Huh. Well,
I can.
let me know.
It's so big, I can see it from
So
the other
big.
side of the classroom.
Who doesn't like a big
It's
clock?
giant.
Huh?
Yes.
All right. So let's get right into it. We're
Okay.
going to start today by reviewing something that you should have learned in first grade,
Mhm.
but it might have been something that has left your memory
Mhm.
since then. It's been quite a while
Yeah.
since you were there. We are going to be talking about how to tell time on what we call an analog clock, or as you might call it, a clock with the hands. So let's just take a look and get through a little bit of vocabulary first. This yellow part of the clock, the big round circle, that's called the face, just like you have a face.
A face.
Okay? Now, do you see this blue little thing, we'll call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's another one hiding behind it. I'm going to move it just a little bit.
Oh, it's shorter.
Yeah, those are called the hands.
The hand.
Just like you have two hands on your arms, so does a clock.
Nice.
Okay, which is pretty cool. I love that you noticed that one of them is longer
Mhm.
than the other one. You're absolutely right. On clocks, there is a really, really long hand that goes almost to the edge of the clock.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a really, really short hand that usually only goes right up to the number that you
Okay.
see, the large number that is on a clock. And those mean different things.
Oh.
I'm going to give you my marker. I hope
Okay.
it works. I did not check it out ahead of time.
I hope it works too.
I want you to just write hour.
Hour.
Yep.
Oh, it works.
Oh,
Nice.
good. Thank goodness.
Hour.
Okay.
H-O-U-R.
All right. The hour hand on our clock is going to be the red hand. It's going to be the short hand. Now, how many letters does the word hour have?
Just 4.
Only 4.
It's a pretty short word.
That is a short word for a short hand on the clock.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's experiment, shall we?
Okay.
Can you write the word minute?
I can. M-I-N-U-T-E. Oh, that's a longer word.
Whoa, how many letters?
6 letters.
Oh my goodness, much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we can remember that the short hand is the hour hand because there's only a few letters in that word, the minute hand is going to be this big long hand because it has more letters. It's a longer short word.
Long.
All right. That's
Helpful.
already some good information. All right.
Short, long.
Let's get into a couple other things. You're going to notice that at the top of the clock is the number 12, and then going around we go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up, and because it's a circle, we can keep going around. Well, that number 12 represents 12 hours at the beginning of the day, and then we go back again, and there's another 12 hours in the day, right? And that's how we have morning and afternoon. So, we have our hour hand, we have our minute hand, we have our face, and I also see some other little numbers on this
Yeah.
clock. But this is a special clock. This is what we would call a teaching clock,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, Mrs. Grant, I know that you have a watch on your wrist that
I
you
do.
like to tell time on.
Yes.
Does it have all of these little numbers on it?
It does not.
Huh.
It does not.
And you know, I have a big clock in my house that's an analog clock, and it doesn't have all of these numbers either.
Nope.
So almost everywhere else that you go, besides looking at a teaching clock, is not going to have the numbers
No.
around the outside. So if there's only one set of numbers, do you think they represent the hours or the minutes?
Oh, I definitely know these big numbers that are on every single analog clock represent the hour.
Okay. But then there's no minutes.
There are minutes. You just have to know that they are. And we're going to teach you how that works. That's like coming in the
Next few days.
It's a lot of information for
Yeah.
one day though. So we're
It
going to
is.
stick with these big numbers today.
All
We're
right.
going to stick with the hours today. Only
Okay.
the hours.
All right, fine. We're going to do something a little bit easy. Are you
Yeah.
ready? Okay. Anytime that we want to tell the time, we need to take a look at where the hour hand is and where the minute hand is. Today we are only going to work on a time that is exactly on the hour. For example, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Everything is going to end today in
O'clock.
o'clock.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to set it up. I'm going to move this around a little bit just so it's a little easier to see. Mrs. Grant, can you talk to us a little bit about the blue minute hand and where it is?
Yes. So I notice that the blue long minute hand is pointed straight up. And on this, it's pointed up at the little 60, but like we said, most clocks won't have the little numbers, the minute numbers. They're only going to have the hour numbers. So when the minute hand is pointed straight up at the 12, that's when it's exactly on the hour. That's the o'clock. Right
Okay.
there.
So it's like putting your arm straight
Straight
up
up.
in the air.
And it's
O'clock. And we're going to leave that hand there
Yep.
all day.
Yep.
All right, we're not
Minute
going to...
hand doesn't move. O'clock is straight up.
Okay, let's talk about the hour hand then.
When it is exactly on the hour, when
Mhm.
it's like 2 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
the hour hand is pointed directly at the number.
Okay.
The hour number.
So would that mean that this clock is showing 2 o'clock?
Yes, the hour hand is on the 2. The minute hand is straight up at the top towards the 12. That is 2 o'clock.
All right. Well, do you mind if I show another one?
Can you show me 5 o'clock?
All right.
Do you think you can?
I can. I'm just going to, it's a teaching clock. So
Oh,
I'm
there
just,
went an hour.
I'm
There
just
went
gonna
an hour.
wind it
Oh,
up.
there was another hour. Oh, now we go. Back it up. Reverse. All right. So still, we see the long minute hand is straight up. That's showing us o'clock.
Straight up now, tell me.
Yes,
No.
that's a good song.
Okay.
And the hour hand is pointed directly at the 5. So the short hour hand is pointed at the 5. The long minute hand is straight up at the 12. It is 5 o'clock.
This actually doesn't seem that bad.
On the hour, o'clock is easy to tell.
Because really, we're just looking at where that
Just
hour
looking
hand is
at
pointing.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so then that would mean if I just turn this one more time.
6 o'clock. Hour hand's at the 6. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
And then the trickiest one.
Oh, 12 o'clock, because that hour hand hides behind the minute hand. And if you can't see that hour hand and it's hidden behind the minute hand, you know, it's 12 o'clock.
Okay, this isn't so bad. I think we should take a look at the worksheet.
Yes. All right, so I see a lot of analog clocks, and what I'm noticing is that the hour hand, the minute hand, the long minute hand is pointed straight up at the 12. I can't want to sing straight up now, Tal.
See, I knew it.
Paula Abdul. So straight up at the 12, we know it's at o'clock. It's right on the hour. So we really just have to pay attention to the short hour hand and make sure that we are getting the correct hour.
Okay,
And we also need to know how to write this down.
we do.
So maybe you can help me
All
with
right.
that.
So yeah, I'm noticing that, like what you said, that minute hand is straight up to the 12, so I know that it's going to say o'clock at the end. And I'm noticing on this one, the short hour hand is pointing to the 2. All right, so in my head, I know that it's 2 o'clock. But we're actually going to be writing that in a digital way. This is how you would write the time down on paper if you didn't want to have to draw a whole clock. You're going to notice 2 little dots in the center of your answer. We're going to put the hour on one side on the left, and then the minutes are going to go on the right. So we start always with the hour. The hour is 2. So the 2 is going to go on the first side of those 2 dots. Now, because it's o'clock, that means that we're at 0 minutes. No minutes have passed 2 o'clock. We're exactly on the hour. And we are going to represent that by drawing 2 zeros. So just to fill that in, our time, 2 o'clock, is written 2 with our dots, 0, 0, 2 o'clock. Do you want to try another one on the page?
I would love to. All right, I'm noticing the minute hand is straight up, so I'm just going to pay attention to the short hour hand. Always start with the hour. It's pointing directly at the 4. The hour goes on the left, and then I've got my colon here, my dots, and the minute hand is pointed straight up, so it's o'clock, 0, 0, 4 o'clock.
This isn't so bad.
Shall we do one more and then let the kids finish the rest?
and we can talk about the back.
Yeah. All right, so last one on the front, I'm going to start with the hour hand, which is shorter. Remember, hour is a shorter word, so it's the shorter hand. We always write the hour first. We don't write the hour on this side, we write it on the left. It's pointed at the 10, so 10, straight up, o'clock. All right,
Okay.
let's take a look at the back. Ooh, all right. It's
Yes.
getting interesting here.
We're going to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
We have some more directions. This time it says in each of the boxes there is an analog, remember, that's with the hands, and a digital clock. That's with those two little dots called a colon. Along with a place to write the written time. Oh my goodness, written meaning out in words and letters. Please complete each of these boxes. The first one has been done for you. You're welcome.
Okay.
But let's take a look.
Yeah, show me.
This is our analog clock, again, with the hour and the minute hand. This is our digital clock, the way that we would write it if it were on your alarm clock in your room, maybe. And then down below, 3, look how they write o'clock.
O''clock.
Huh, pretty cool. 3 o'clock. Now, it looks like each of the boxes has something else missing.
Yes.
So we need to figure that
But
out.
it's not always the same thing either, so be paying attention.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yes.
If you're watching the video, we're going to help you.
Okay. Why don't you do the first one and I'll help with the second one?
I sure would love to,
Okay.
because it's my job. and we're filming, here we go. All right, I'm noticing that this long minute hand is pointing at the 12, so straight up tells me it's o'clock. Now tell me,
Sorry.
do you really want to tell
I'm never
me the time
gonna not
that-
sing that song now.
I
Thanks
know.
a lot.
You're welcome.
I do love that song though.
The short hand, the hour hand, is pointing directly at the 8. So I know that on the left of the colon, I'm going to put the 8, and then o'clock is represented by 2 zeros, 8 o'clock. Now, when I read this time, 8 o'clock, those are exactly the words that I need to write down. Now,
8's a tricky word to spell, so I'm glad that we get to do this one for you.
it is hard. It's not 8 like you ate a cheeseburger, Mrs.
Yeah.
Grant. It's a little
I didn't
different.
8 the o'clock. It's the number 8.
8-O with an apostrophe and then the word clock. All right.
All right.
So mine was missing the digital and the words. Looks like you're missing something
Mine's
else.
different.
Uh-huh.
So they gave me the digital version, but this clock has no hands.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna have to put the hands in on my own.
You better
But-
be careful.
But we know that it's o'clock, so I know that that long hand points straight up. Now tell me,
Do you
Okay.
really want to love me forever?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my long hand is pointed straight up. I like to make the arrow tip almost touch the bottom of the numbers. That helps me remember that it's the long one. And then my hour hand, my shorter hand, is gonna be pointing at whatever the number on the left of the colon is, okay? And that's a 1. And I like to do mine like half of the length of the minute hand. So I'm only gonna I'm gonna make sure I'm going in the direction of the 1, but I'm only gonna go like halfway. And I'm gonna draw that arrow straight at the 1, but only half as long as the minute hand because the hour hand is shorter.
I like that you kept that arrow really small too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like taking over. I can see
Yeah.
exactly where it's pointing.
Yeah. Cool. So we've got, I'm gonna erase this. We've got the first one done. Now we're just left with the written version, which is 1 o'clock. And 1 is a pretty easy word to spell. 1 O''clock. Okay. Now I know that down the ways a little bit, there are some that have the written version and you have to fill in both boxes. So if it were to say
Sneaky.
6 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
you would know that the short hand, the hour hand, points at the 6. The long hand points straight up, now tell me. Okay? And then you would write 6:00.
Okay.
So as long as you have one of these 3 pieces of information, you'll be able to fill out the other two that are missing.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, this was a crazy video. We taught you a lot. We did some singing. We hope you made it to the end, and we hope that you can finish this worksheet on your own.
You know what's great about these videos, though?
What?
If they do need to rewatch it, you can, because it's always going to be here for you. So if you forget and you need to rewatch this and remember any of the things that we did,
Like
watch
our
it again.
singing.
Yes, or watch us sing again. That's great. Good luck. You guys are going to do great. We're going to be learning a little bit more. We're going to learn about like the half hour tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty cool.
Stay tuned. Come back tomorrow.